I will be in Kodalunga Larga with my non-dominant foot forward, left foot forward in my case. And he says, he doesn't mention, I think, the other person's guard, doesn't need to, because I'm going to press him. This common tactic, I make my rear foot drive my front foot forward without making any blow so that he attacks me or retreats. But, and here's what's interesting, Anonimo really alone does this. He says, well, if he doesn't attack you, but he doesn't retreat, I mean, dall'agocchie mentions it. So what happens if they don't attack? Why did I press him in this position? Why did I press him? So that he what? So that he attacks me. But what if he doesn't? What did dall'agocchie say? If you press somebody and they don't attack you, attack them? Under no circumstances. No. He's waiting in a guard. I've just pressed him. He didn't come at me. What should I do about it? What did dall'agocchie say? Provoke him again. And that's what we see right here in Anonimo. That's what he says. I've pressed him. He does not attack me, or he doesn't retreat, but remains settled in his guard. What do I do about it? I throw a stoccata trivolata to his hand. Why? To wound it? No. He says, no. He says, do this, not right here, but in one of the other 55 times he does that, he says, do this so that he does not attack you in that tempo. And even goes further to say, and when you do this, he doesn't even have to respond to it. Do this so as not to make him respond, but so that he doesn't attack you in that tempo. So that's what we have so far. Why does this matter? It gets me excited because it's Bolognese concepts. It's how we fence. It's how they fenced. I pressed him to try to get him to attack me. He wouldn't do it. I'm not going to attack him now. That's too dangerous for me to attack him settled in a guard. He's going to close that line and thrust me. Not a good idea. Not what they said to do. If you press someone and they don't attack you back, and do it, remember how, there's only one way we step in Bolognese fencing that they described, in a forward direction, driving your front foot forward with your back foot. Don't attempt to do this, stepping your front foot and pulling your back foot in behind that. That's not Bolognese. It just is not Bolognese. You can tell a Bolognese fencer with how they move their feet. This, that. He doesn't attack. Provoke. And right away, as soon as I do it, remember why I'm doing that. It's at the hand. Stoccata trivolata, that. I will immediately throw my sword behind me into Kodalunga lunga, long, long tail, and draw my foot back. So if he hasn't attacked me, I do this. Thrust, draw back, and this goes right here at the face. Right. You see what he's doing, why he would do that. And don't just go through the motions, but understand Bolognese fencing, why, not just what we're doing, not just how to do it, why we do it. Why do I press? To make him, again, as dall'agocchie says, do this so that you will force him to attack you. As I say often, we're not trying to prevent people from attacking us. I'm not doing this. Why am I doing that? Why do people do that? To not give the other person a tempo in which to attack us. Is that what we do? Is that what the Bolognese did? Try to keep the tempo away from their adversary? No. They said it a million times. Whenever possible, allow your opponent to attack you first. Larga, press, this way. He won't do it. What do? He remains settled in a guard. Provoke again. Not to wound, to give myself a tempo to do what? A tempo to do this. And I send this to the face with a step. But that's a provocation too. We'll see that in a second. I press. He didn't take the bait. That's what this is. It's bait. He didn't take it. It's a certain kind of provocation used to cause an aggressive response. Doesn't work. I do this, draw this back, and now this is a provocation designed to cause a defensive reaction. See two different kinds of provocations? First one, to cause a aggressive. This is a provocation used to create and cause an aggressive reaction. I want him to. That's one kind. But if that didn't work, I switch tactics and do another provocation, not a direct attack, but a provocation designed to induce a defensive reaction. What would that have looked like if I were to complete that? What was that? That was an imbroccata, or a punta sopra mano. I was here, did this, went back here and threw that. What would that have looked like if I were to have completed that? That would have turned into porta di ferro. They always do. So the imbroccata, see from here, you make the stoccata trivolata, which is a twisting, drilling thrust. Throw that back and immediately go at the face. And if this were to complete, that would have been what that looked like. I've provoked him, I did this, I went back here right away, and I step forward. Now, he says he makes a defensive reaction. When he does so, he says, send your point to the ground. Or he says, make your point look to the ground. And throw a reverso and destroy that hand into coda lunga larga. Kind of a slick move. First thing, try to get them to attack you first, as is our way. He won't do it. He's seen enough of this to know not to believe this. I provoke again in a different way. Here, back, and again, here. And cut that arm off if I can. Serious wound. Provoke here to the face. He would have connected with that, so I don't want that. So as he says, send it to the ground, and that immediately becomes a reverso. To strike that arm into coda lunga larga. Here with the right foot. Forward. From the other side. Don't start too close. Remember, if we start like this, and I start to press him, that's already bad. Have a measure here that allows you to press somebody to try to get them to attack, but they won't. Don't go too close. It starts to get not in my favor there, not safe. Watch your measure. Press, stoccata, trivolata, back with your foot at the face. Send it to the ground, strike the arm into coda lunga larga. When I avoid his parry, I can reach that hand easily without having to take a step. I'm only striking for that hand. I'm not striking for the head. If I need to hit the head, I would have had to step. So bear that in mind. Now, he says too, furthermore, if they attack you there, meaning if that didn't work. And it might be that he pulls his hand back so that I can't hit it, perhaps. Here, I provoke when he sticks that out there, and probably too, now see, he wouldn't want to be parrying in his debole, he'd want to use his forte. What's that mean for his arm position? It's more raised, right? So if I came in with that and he wants to use his forte, he's in that position, perhaps even kind of like that, to have the point that way. And that's what he's expecting. He's expecting to parry that, except it's not that. As that's coming in, I send it to the ground and hit that with a reverso. Now, he may see me do that and jerk his hand back. And that's taken into account by Anonimo. After I've done that and I missed that, he throws something at me. I hit that with a falso that goes here over my arm, and then I step back with a reverso into this position. Okay, so there you go. That's the full thing. From this measure, I am down here and I press. He won't go for it. So I do this and try to unsettle him into exposing that arm to try to hit it. But if he jerks it back and tries to get me anyway, hit that, going over my arm and strike, passing back into this guard.